Okay, so your first card is a Queen of Wands. You have a Five of Swords, an Eight of Swords. You have a Nine of Cups. You have the Emperor. This will be in the center of your spread. This is an Eight of Wands. So you have two eights. 8 is the number of changing. I have a Two of Cups. I have the World. And I have the Hermit. So interesting. In your future, in the long-term future at least, because I'm already in the future because I'm reading September. You have some major arcana cards coming up indicating a shift. Things are pretty quiet here heading into September, but by the time we get to the end of September, yeah, things are going to start changing a little bit. And that's really weird because I'm looking at this Two of Cups. Then the World comes along. And then we have the isolation of the Hermit. Now, I also want to point out this doesn't necessarily mean that you will be alone. But the Hermit is about seeking wisdom, a solitary journey. You don't necessarily have to be alone to do that. You can actually be in a relationship. But I do get a sense that with the energy of this Two of Cups, this emotional union, I feel like the World is, because it's the end of a chapter. It's the last card in the major arcana, and it brings the end of a chapter and a beginning of a new cycle. So yeah, this is looking pretty interesting to me right now as far as the relationship energy, because I feel like there are going to be some transitions. Doesn't mean that a relationship is coming to an end or the possibilities of one are coming to an end, but a transition, an important transition. Okay. And then you do have that Emperor in the center of your spread. The Emperor is the boss. The Emperor is the one who, he's above all the kings. The Emperor is the one who's ruling, giving direction, but more than anything, the Emperor is about stability. And I kind of feel that in relation to all the other cards, seeing that the Emperor is in the center, that some of you Aquarians, you know, you're using your reasoning, you're using your logic. Some of you in September, as far as the relationship issues, will find yourself walking a fine line to work things out, to resolve certain conflicts in the relationship. And I kind of feel that in spite of all the conflicts, there is still going to be some type of bond or agreement between you and this other person that, yes, you both want to be in this relationship and you're going to try to work it out. But as I said, I kind of see in the future some uneasy transitions, some alone time for you Aquarians to think things through, because you do have some swords here. So yeah, you have two eights. You've got some fire here, this Queen of Wands, and I'm kind of feeling that Queen of Wands out as the energy of the person of interest or your love interest. And she's bringing a little bit of, there's some conflict with this Queen of Wands. This Five of Swords is about defeat. It is about rejection. It is about winning and losing. And it's paired with, it's right next to this Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is the card of confusion. So when I see this Queen of Wands with the swords of confusion and fear and wondering what's going on and setbacks and disappointment, your friend Aquarians, whoever it is, man, woman, you know, your friend here is being difficult. And I'm feeling this out, like, why is your love interest or partner bringing this conflict? And I just because these are swords, and of course they represent air, which is your energy and your element, I don't see necessarily you bringing the conflict. I just see it as something that both of you, you're trying to address the conflict. I see you trying to figure out a way to make it work. Okay, so that's influences at the beginning of September. So as we come here, yes, a little bit more stability. And I kind of feel from the Emperor, and the Emperor has a scepter in his hand, because it's kind of like a wand. And he has the globe in his other hand, the scepter and the globe. As I said, he's a ruler. He's the king of all kings. And he brings, more than anything, being reasonable. And I think that's what the conflict and the struggle is about for September for you, Aquarians. Using your reasoning and logic to work things out with your partner. So we have some interesting energy here, because on one side of the Emperor, you do have that Nine of Cups, and this is just the card, and it's above this Two of Cups. So we have some sociability here. We have being together. We have building an emotional connection here. Love is growing. 9, of course, is the number of endings as far as cycles. And so it makes sense, considering that this is also a forewarning of more changes to come. On the other side, you have that 8 of Wands, and the 8 of Wands is very, very quick changes, news that you've been waiting for. I feel like this Queen of Wands is coming to see you, or this Queen of Wands is reaching out to you. Sometimes this can mean actual travel. It can mean travel over a long distance. So I feel like there's some traveling, meeting, getting together. Whatever this Queen of Wands problem is, I feel like some of you Aquarians are sort of learning, like, you know, in some respects, because I don't think that this is applying necessarily to everybody, or it's applying in different ways. But I feel like you guys are going into September, as I said, having some conversations, working through the confusion, trying to decide what's what in this relationship. Where are you in this relationship? And so the Queen of Wands, she's got that wand in her hand. Fire is a quick energy, very passionate, very determined, has to have their way. The Queen of Wands is that internal energy. King of Wands is active. This Queen of Wands internally, some of you, your partners and love interests are, I feel like some of your partners or love interests are putting up a little resistance in the relationship. You know, you're waiting on the side of the road, like, come on, let's go if we're going to do this relationship. And your partners and love interest are saying, I'll be there in a second, I'm coming. Okay, just don't do anything, don't leave me. And that's always something that is frustrating in a relationship, when you have a partner or a love interest who is at a different pace than you. They put up all sorts of meaningless and silly resistance to the relationship because they want to run the show. So I'm feeling a little bit of resistance from love interests. And then, you know, some of you might get a surprise phone call or a text, or, you know, meeting each other, traveling together. You got that energy of the Nine of Cups, being together, being with people you love, contentment and happiness. It's also the Wish card. So some of you might get some needed face-to-face time with your love interest, or some of you might hear from a love interest in a surprising way. So yeah, coming back to the future, it seems and it feels like you got this Two of Cups going on. There's an emotional connection. But then the world comes along, and I kind of feel like there's some unfinished business or an important shift that might derail this energy of the Two of Cups just a little. And so Aquarians, the story that's unfolding is that for some of you, I see a weekend together, a week together, and then the Queen of Wands runs away again, and you're like here at the Hermit, like, where did this person go? Well, the person left because I feel like some of you are attached to people who emotion overload. They're together, they're falling in love, and then they get scared and then they run. And sometimes people with fire energy, like the Queen of Wands, very hot and heavy, you know. But if you don't have some anchoring energy like some Pentacles, which are very slow and grounding, then yeah, a person with fire energy will be there 1 minute, gone the next. So I'm gonna shuffle for the outcome card to see how this is going to play out. I have a feeling your love interest will be back, but part of me is thinking you Aquarians are so reasonable and dependable and loyal, and most air signs, you know, are. I think one of the things that air and fire signs have is that they have lofty ideals. Well, Pisces does, water signs do too, but I kind of feel that once a fire sign or an air sign commits to something, they really do commit. It's just a matter of fire signs, depending on the makeup of a person who has a fire sign like Aries or Leo or Sagittarius, that loyalty and devotion is short-lived. As I said, they're there 1 minute, gone the next. And sometimes the emotional intensity might be too much. So let's pull the outcome card to see what's going to follow the Hermit. We have a Three of Pentacles reversed. Interesting. Now, the Three of Pentacles, outside of, you know, a relationship reading, the Three of Pentacles is about success, receiving recognition. It's also about using your gifts and talents. Pentacles, I've said it so many times, but Pentacles, for you first timers in my videos, seeing my videos, Pentacles are usually related to work and career and money, the physical material world. And also the number 3 is important because in the tarot, the 3 is a number of creation. It's perfection of the element. And so the Three of Pentacles is about progress and hard work and achieving success. But the 3 is also about two forces coming together to create a third force. And so in relationship readings, when I see this Three of Pentacles, I see a strong undercurrent. If it's not reversed, I see this strong undercurrent of friendship and trust, two people coming together to create a third force in a relationship, that you two are really together as far, and Pentacles are not necessarily emotional. They're practical. They're about solving problems. They're about physical action and moving forward physically. And so in relationship readings, when I see the Three of Pentacles, it's always a good thing because it can mean a strong friendship, a practical friendship where people are able to discuss things, and there's trust and honesty. So when this is in reverse, it's sort of like the Oracle saying, Aquarius, there's definitely an attraction, there's definitely a bond. But some of the things that are getting in the way here, especially with these swords and then you being alone with the Hermit, there still needs to be more trust built with this very temperamental Queen of Wands. There needs to be, you need to feel that you can trust this person. And so there's a breakdown in trust that's going to be happening for some of you. It could also be a breakdown in working together, talking. Sometimes it's about laziness, that maybe your Queen of Wands, this person of interest, is not putting in enough devotion and commitment to the relationship. You're picking up all the slack. And I don't necessarily I see it just as a small bump in the road that needs to be addressed. And it can blow up either way. It can mean, oh, this isn't going to work. Or if you work through it, it can make the relationship stronger. So yes, this Three of Pentacles is very important, because I feel as an outcome card, it's saying that you're not going to end up feeling that you can trust this person, that there might be an issue that will lead to the breakdown in communication, a breakdown in the friendship. And I always feel that for any relationship to grow, it's important for people to have mutual respect and trust and a friendship outside of the intimacy and the romance. So this is something that needs to be worked on, but it's not the end-all be-all. It's not necessarily meaning that the relationship is just going to come to an end, but it is the oracle saying that some of you Aquarians are definitely dealing with trust issues with this Queen of Wands, or your person of interest, and your partner your partner's going to sort of drop the ball and not be as committed or focused as much on the relationship. But with this Emperor here in the middle, I kind of feel like that will be addressed. Okay. So that was your reading, Aquarius. And of course, I want to thank all of my subscribers and my Patreon sponsors. Thank you so much for supporting me. I hope you all had a wonderful summer. Summer's coming to an end in a couple of weeks. So I hope you're enjoying the longer days now that they're now turning into shorter days. I wish you love and light. Of course, I'll see you next month. And just a reminder, my personal videos, my personal readings on videos, they're still $15 until the end of September. So take advantage of that. I wish you love and light. Take care, and I'll see you soon.